Today we're going to look at how the Japanese aesthetic concept of Yugen, or suggested beauty, could have a great effect on your photography. Later, I'll go through some of my photos to show you a number of ways to use Yugen as a theme for expressing yourself. One of the things that's always drawn me to Japanese aesthetics is their appreciation of beauty. Japan has shown me that it's okay to create spaces in your life, like in your home and garden, or your artistic endeavors, places where you can allow yourself to appreciate beauty. Although Yugen is interconnected with other philosophies like wabi-sabi and shizen, it does have its own unique meaning. Can depend on context. The words don't always convey the true meaning of it. In its traditional philosophical meaning, Yugen meant dim, deep, or mysterious. Poetry, it was used as a way to describe something that was subtly profound from things that were vaguely suggested. It isn't something otherworldly, though. It's deeply rooted in the now. Yugen uses suggestion and imagination to take you beyond what can be described with words. Zeami, the creator of the dramatic No theater, often used nature as metaphors for Yugen. To watch the sun sink behind a flower-clad hill. To wander on in a huge forest without thought of return. To stand upon the shore and gaze after a boat that disappears behind distant islands. To contemplate the flight of wild geese seen and lost among the clouds. The world tells you to always be hustling, always be productive and efficient, but Japanese aesthetics allow you to slow down and take time to appreciate what's in front of you. It gives you the breathing room to bring this space or philosophy into your everyday life. Yugen is experiencing the world we live in the moment, with the aid of a cultivated imagination. I want to encourage you to create that space where you can take time to appreciate beauty. Think about how you can add Yugen and its hidden beauty to whatever you're creating, whether it be a garden or landscaping, a painting, your photography, music. Where do you find beauty in the indistinct? Or better yet, where can you create beauty in the indistinct? Fog, mist, and smoke are some of the obvious types of shots because they are creating a screen or blurring something behind it. At temples, you could use the burning incense that is sometimes in front of the main steps. As I mentioned earlier, Zeami, the No theater master, gave us a few examples of possible Yugen One being the sun going down behind a flower-clad hill. Here I've made a few flowers the subject, but I believe the darker skies and sunset behind the flower hills in the front creates the mood, almost a little tension and moodiness. Woodland and forest scenes would also be great subjects. I think of Mads Peter Iverson as a photographer who intuitively understands Yugen. I don't know if it's an aesthetic concept he's even heard of before, but he naturally is often using this element in his photography, which is one of the reasons that I'm really drawn to his style of photography and composition. You're not necessarily burying the lead, but you are making the viewer question the roles of the characters in your picture. Fleeting and disappearing subjects are also ideas to keep in mind with Yugen. This is a shot that I got in Watkins Glen in Ithaca in the Finger Lakes, and it's a scene that I think a lot of people walk past because I was on a telephoto. This is maybe 400 millimeters that I was at, and I just caught a glimmer of white deep in this like small crevice. And you can see the waterfall back there, and it is literally like a hidden viewpoint that I've was able to capture different layers of the rocks through the gorges just to be able to see the scene in the back, which is partially being obstructed by the stones back there. Here's another waterfall scene that I've come to really like, when you have the rocks and things like that obstructing where the water's going, or adversely where it's coming from, and it's making you think. I mean, you don't need to see it. You sort of know where it's going, but that's something that sparks the little bit of imagination in the viewer. This is on the Echizen coast on the Sea of Japan, and the way these peninsulas and some of the islands pop out here, I just was really drawn to this ray of light that was coming through that helps create a bit of mystery and wonder. How far back, how deep does this scene go? This is a shot that I captured at Omine-san when we were doing a ascetic hike, and here you can see one of the Shugendo members walking, and we got up super early in the morning in the mist in the mountains and just created this beautiful scene where the trees were already forming this tunnel. And as I got a few of the Shugendo people walking towards me, it was just a beautiful scene. Again, here on Mount Omine or Omine-san, you can see some of the Japanese ornaments here, the lantern, and farther back you can see the Bodhisattva. The depth and the mist was just a natural beauty. Again, when you reach the summit of Mount Omine, you see these winding mountain ridges that just seem to extend, and with the haze in the morning there, it really it's like leading you into the beyond. This one is a little different from some of my other ones regarding Yugen, but when I took this, at the moment, it was really interesting. I was caught up in this scene of wandering off to the far left there. You can see a little village, and it sort of made me wonder, how far back does that village go behind the mountain there? Or does it, is it just more mountains? And just creating that wonder was something that, spurred me to capture this shot. Sometimes when we get stuck in a rut and need a little boost of creativity, I like to think in terms of some of these different Japanese aesthetics and take a theme like Yugen and go out there with this theme in mind and shoot with this on my mind and see what I can come up with. I encourage you to get out there and take this theme for the day or for the moment and keep it in mind. Keep these ideas of mysterious beauty or hidden beauty and try to create something maybe a little different than you normally would.